Views expressed and the opinions given by the individual host and their guests do not necessarily reflect those of Para X, its affiliates, or its sponsors.
You are listening to Para X.
Welcome to He Said, She Said, the Cryptid Show. I'm Tommy Cooper, live on location tonight. And with me also, although in Minnesota, Stephanie Langer. How you doing, Steph?
I'm doing really good this evening. I think it's great that you are on location. Well, our first location show. Awesome sauce.
Yes. Yes, we had a cancellation, so we had to come up with another great idea, and I think we come up with a definite winner tonight.
I do too.
Broadcasting to you from the site of where we actually, Jason Trost located a trackway a few weeks ago, and we actually did one of the spray foam track casts here.
Yeah.
So, back again. Love this spot.
Yeah, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. I love it. So what are you seeing out there? Anything cool? Are you feeling anything? Or, because it's warm there, right?
It's warm. It's a little windy. It's starting to chill off a little bit. But it's okay because tonight I had to call in some help from one of my buddies. And I have the golden vocal cords of Mr. Jim Sauerland with me tonight. So we're going to be laying down some calls and putting some stuff into application. It's going to be a great night. We are loaded for bear or squatch, whatever you want to say.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it.
I'm going to give you an idea of how loud it is in this swamp. I'm going to come a little closer to the water's edge.
Okay.
I don't know. Oh my gosh, it sounds like 10 car alarms going off over here.
Yes.
So loud.
They are super loud. They're happy because it's warm and it's, spring has sprung finally.
Yeah. Step away from them a little bit.
Yeah. I hear frogs. Yep. You're right, Kat. That's what's going on in the background there. Isn't that fun? I love it. So we will, every once in a while, we'll try to do one of these live from the field location things. Tonight it was just kind of a surprise. Our guest kind of dropped off on us at the last minute, and so Tommy said, Steph, I think I'll go up to the field. What do you think? And I said, yeah, let's do it. So if this works, awesome. This is fun.
Yeah, the stuff we talked about last week, we'll do some application of some of those things tonight.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure. So you're in a favorite spot, and one that you talked about last week that Jason found the print, and then you did the casting in the foam, which, by the way, you never posted a picture of, can I just say?
I was going to take a picture of it today, but my limited skills, it was hard for me to make the subject matter photogenic, so I didn't want to do it a disservice. I figure I'll let a pro like Jason take a picture of it tomorrow and post it.
Okay. Yeah, you should, and post it on our page so people can see it. But yeah, what a cool idea to do that. I have to remember to get that for next time I'm out in the field, because we do find prints quite often. So if they're deep enough to cast, it's just so much lighter weight than carrying around all that other stuff. Can I just say, if it works good, Yeah. So what is going on out there right now other than the frogs going crazy?
Well, here's my logic, kind of as per our show last week. We got an awful lot of rain last night, a lot of heavy wind, and we think that a lot of the animals are driven out of the creek valleys. So they're higher. So that's our plan for tonight, is to get away from the creeks for a change.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah. And I do think Bigfoot's on the move, so wouldn't that be something if that one came around? Does the hair on your neck raise up, do you think, when you see him or when you feel him? When he's around?
When I feel him, my hair would raise up. If I see him, more than that'll happen.
But you can tell. What I'm saying is you can tell when they're around because you definitely feel like you're being watched.
Yeah, sometimes for sure.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of things happen here, so we've already got a history here. So that's a nice thing.
Cool. So what do you like to do? So we're going to talk like field techniques and what we do when we're in the field. So you've been there for a little bit now. So what do you do when you generally get to a location that you know that you like, so you don't have to, you're not Googled because, you haven't been there before and you're looking at everything, but so you're at a place where you're familiar with, what do you do first?
Well, we like to do like a crescendo, and that is we want to start out with natural sounds, like maybe wounded rabbit, coyote howl, owl hoot, things like that. We like to start with that, see if that garners a reaction, and if not, we'll keep working our way up the crazy chain and end with the Bigfoot screams, etc.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that will draw Bigfoot to you?
I think any activity, any action, there's a good chance that it's going to bring in the curious onlookers. So anything, there's no wrong way to do it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So we want some action of whatever sort around this area. We've obviously already got the frogs here, so we're off to a good start anyhow.
Yeah.
I'll give you a sample of what one of the mouth calls is that we'll do, like, to warm up an area.
Okay.
Here it goes. What do you think of that, huh?
Yeah. And so you're using something to make that noise. And what kind of a noise was that?
That's actually a wounded rabbit call.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's coyote hunters use that a lot.
Oh, sure.
But if the thought behind it is if an animal is being eaten somewhere, there's just a better chance that it's like ringing the dinner bell, maybe. Maybe
sure.
that'll bring something in. But we'll start out with that and then slowly graduate our way up.
That's awesome. Give
that a few minutes to sit, and then we go next.
So do you ever just sit there quietly? Some Bigfoot hunters say that you have to be very stealthy and very quiet in the woods and not talk and not make noise and all of those kinds of things.
Yeah, but that comes hard for me.
Yeah.
Plus, I'm really not very patient either. So you have to kind of go out there and get with the program.
I hear you. I'm kind of not very quiet either. Pretty loud myself. But now our group, on the other hand, we kind of think that when we talk, sometimes we even sing in the woods. Sometimes I think when you talk a lot and you giggle, that will bring them to you as well. I don't know if that's true or not, but
that's a good idea. I think that's a good idea.
Maybe a gaggle of women anyway, right? I don't know about guys, but but then we've also this year we're going to try to practice a little more silence. So we're going to try to just sit in the woods and be silent for 15 or 20 minutes and see what happens. I think that's kind of a good idea, Yeah. It's just hard to be. It's just hard to do. So Karin's wondering, how has that worked for you so far, using these whistles and these animal sounds?
Hard to quantify would be my answer. I think any given technique can work under the right circumstances. I think there's a whole lot of luck involved in squatching myself.
Yeah, I do too.
Right place, right time. If they're curious in you, they'll come to you. If they're not, they won't.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I mean, some of it's almost like building a relationship. It's almost like just putting yourself out there, and just they become familiarized with you, maybe.
Yes. And so you guys do tree knocks though too, don't you?
Yes, we do. We love us some tree knocks, and we are doing some of those tonight.
Yeah, but you know what? So I've had some people tell me that when you do tree knocks, it's like a warning to Bigfoot to stay away. It's like, you know, it's their warning signal to get away because maybe humans are here or something. What do you think about that?
I get responses to them often.
Do you?
So, yeah, and I'm here for a response as much as anything. And if I get a response, if I get a knockback, and that's all I get, I'm actually okay with that. That might sound messed up, but that's really how I look at it. I'm not after the high quality photograph, so tree knock is gold to me.
Yep. Nope, I hear you. And I have my own little knocker and did that, you know, quite frequently, but now we have a drum that was gifted to us by Jerry, and so we've been doing that. We've only done it a couple of times. Did we lose you? No, there you are. We've only done it a couple of times, but I kind of think it might work because, you know, it's that drumming. It's kind of vibrations, and it kind of, you know, leaves a different woo. It's the woo factor, really. But it's the whole vibration thing, right?
I like the drum stuff.
I do too. I do too. I think it's really cool. So I think this year we're going to maybe put the tree knocker away and just try the drums for a while and see what happens, you know?
Yeah, mix them up.
Yeah, or mix them up. Yeah, I know. My tree knocker is always in the car, so it's, you know, always there with us. So do you hear anything? So you made that noise of a wounded rabbit. Is anything happening out there?
Right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to grab my spotlight. Now I'm going to scan the field beside the swamp. I don't know if you can see that or not.
Yeah.
But scan it. And if you can believe it, we have nothing.
Nothing.
But that's okay. That's okay. We're still outdoors.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And it really hasn't been that long since you did it. I mean, give it a little bit of time, you know, and then it might work. It might work for sure.
That's our warm-up. That's us ringing the doorbell telling them we're here. Exactly.
So when you were there a couple of weeks ago, when you found the tracks and you were cooking bacon and stuff, I can't remember what you said. Did you say that you thought you heard Bigfoot or Bigfoot was nearby, or?
Well, this area always has owl noises in it. And it could be that there's always owls here. But it also could be that one solitary owl that was responding with our buddy Marcus Chapman may indeed not have been an owl. But it's very hard to say. But one owl alone did seem kind of peculiar. A bit odd. You know, we hear owls down here a lot, but not just one.
And owls can sound like screaming. You know, some of them have really crazy sounds, you know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And there's so many things that make so many weird noises in the woods at night. I mean, that's all part of the fun.
Yeah. Yeah, because we're always wondering just what is that, you know? It's very fun. It's very fun. So what else do you do? So when you're in the field, what else do? You make sounds. Do you kind of constantly walk from place to place, or do you just kind of settle in one spot?
Most of the time we settle in one spot. But if we have enough people, we'll almost do like a drive, like have a couple of groups circle around, and then everyone converge on the same point. But to do that, it's necessary to have a decent sized group of people, which oftentimes you don't have. Usually it's 2, 3, or 4 people at most. And in that scenario, usually we sit put.
And wait for something to come to you. So for those of you who have joined the broadcast after we started tonight, Tommy Cooper, my co-host, is actually in the field. Our guest this evening canceled, and so we thought it would be fun for Tommy to go to the place that he was talking about last week on the show. And so he is doing the show live from there this evening. So we're going to see if anything cool happens. So he has a guest with him, Jim Sauerland. I can't pronounce that maybe. Yep. So
you're about to hear his claim to fame too.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. When we talked about this, I told him he couldn't go out there alone. So I'm glad you listened to the Steffi Jean, because you know.
Well, now that we've given time for our wounded rabbit call to come and go, I think this would be a great time. I'll see if I can get Jim to give us one of his world-class vocalizations that I'm always bragging on, so the whole world can hear it.
Okay. Let's hear it. Plan? Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Jim.
With an intro like that, I can do nothing but disappoint.
Oh, no, you'll be great.
Steph, huge fan. Just got to say, it's wonderful to get to finally speak to you.
Oh, thank you. I'm waiting. Come on, do it. Do it.
Right.
The guy's got to warm up, man. This is top shelf stuff.
This is not top shelf stuff.
What did I tell you?
Awesome. That was awesome. Now, if that doesn't draw Bigfoot to you, I'm not sure what will. That was awesome. I love it. Now, if he did that at the Bigfoot calling contest at Bigfoot Days, he would probably win.
He's the shoe.
Yeah.
With fair judging, he's a shoe-in anywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So are you hearing anything back? Maybe he should do it again.
I think he should. I
think he should do 2 in a row. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he should do another one.
Yep.
There we go.
I love it. I love it. Good job. Good job.
Sure. Bounces all around.
Yeah, I bet. The vibration alone is just a little crazy. So tell me this. So how do we know what Bigfoot sounds like? I mean, has anybody really recorded a Bigfoot?
I have.
Have you?
Yes. We have an audio recorder we leave out quite a lot. And we've gotten screams, yells, all kinds of crazy noises on there that I'm convinced are indeed Bigfoot.
Mm-hmm. And they sound like that typical that everybody does when they're out in the field.
Actually, I'm going to say no. They don't sound exactly like that because they're so much powerful.
Yeah.
They almost sound, there's like a violence to the yell, in my opinion.
Yeah. Are you guys hearing anything else? Like anything that indicates maybe something's hearing you? Be it Bigfoot or not?
The frogs have changed a bit.
Mm-hmm. You know, do you think one of the things that I wonder when we're out squatching, you know, we can be in an area and it suddenly will become totally silent. Now, do you think if Sasquatch or Bigfoot is around that all the animals become quiet, or do you just think the animals become quiet because we're there?
I think it's because Bigfoot's there myself.
Yeah.
When things go dead quiet like that, I'm really looking. So
Karin is asking, how do you know that it was Bigfoot that made those calls that you've heard?
Nothing else would have the lung capacity.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
sheer power and lung capacity, there's no other animal I know of that could even come close to it.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome.
Like some of those calls, when I hear them, they scare me. You know,
So,
when I'm listening to a recording of it, you know, I'm like, oh, holy cow, guys, check this out. I mean, we need to put the best calls that we have. We need to put them all together into an audio.
Yeah.
It's pretty impressive. Takes a long time to get them, but it's well worth it. There's probably quite an interest for it too. You know, some of the things we do a lot, we kind of take for granted, and it would probably be quite a novelty to a lot of people that maybe don't have a group of 7 or 8 people like we have that all live within 5 miles of each other and all that stuff that get to go out a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good idea.
Yeah. No, I like that. Animals go quiet if they sense a predator. Yes, absolutely, they do. But, you know, that could be, you know, like we were just out in the field too, and we found some prints and we found some crazy stuff, and then we found cougar scat. So, you know, and then I felt like both of us, it was funny because, you know, I'd been feeling this for a little bit, and I'm like, we got to get out of here. Something was just telling me we need to leave this area. There's something going on here. Something doesn't want us here. And then I found that scat, and I'm like, oh. And then I said to Carrie, I think it's time for us to leave. And she said, yeah, I've been feeling a little nervous myself. So I don't know. Maybe that, because it seemed fresh. I don't know. Maybe that animal was really close by and watched us and licking its chops, and not really sure. But yeah, we did get out of there. But it could have been Bigfoot too. You know, we just don't know.
I was going to ask you, did you kind of get a positive ID on the scat as being cougar?
You know what? I did some research and looked up lots of pictures of different kinds of scat, and that they definitely look exactly like that from what I've seen.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I think, you know, and I know there's a lot of in that area. I didn't know there were cougars, but as we talked about with Alexander when he was on, you know, cougars are becoming more and more commonplace. And in that area, there's big cats, there's bears, it's a wildlife plethora up there. But I didn't realize the cougars were up there too. That's a little something that we're really going to have to watch out for now. You know.
Yeah, there's nothing to stop them.
No, well, there really isn't. You know, and so you always got to make sure you're looking up in the trees because that's where they hang, right? And they jump down on you, and then you don't really have a chance. But do you have cougars out there too? Where you are? Where you are?
They say we don't, but we definitely do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
fits in that Lions of the East narrative that Alexander was talking about. Petakov, they're definitely here, but no one in authority recognizes them.
Right. Right. That is because they don't want people to, you know, shark attack, you know, kind of the same thing. They don't want people to get all worked up. I get it, but I do think they're closer to the cities because, you know, like I said, our research area is about an hour north of Minneapolis, so it's not that far, you know, and it's like, wow, that's just crazy.
It's you living in the city. Look at all the food, all the garbage.
Exactly. But there's a lot of, you know, cars and stuff. And, you know, there was a few years back, I remember I was driving the road from just south of the cities coming home one night. We went to a concert, and there was what I thought was a cougar laying in the road, and I wasn't sure, you know, and I'm like, what was that? You know, and it was like midnight, so who knows, you know, and I didn't really get a look at it, but I thought, oh my God, I even called law enforcement, and I said, you know, there was something in the road, looked like a cougar to me, and they just sounded like, what are you on, lady? You know, but really... But I just remember that, and it just entered my mind now, and it was Katie and I, and we both were like, what is that? And it was too late. We couldn't go back, you know, but crazy. So what are you hearing or seeing now?
Oh, we're scanning the field with a spotlight right now, probably here in about 15 minutes, we'll go dark and start scanning with the night vision. But right now, we're just doing a 360 sweep with a small spotlight. And that's about what we're doing, and there's not a lot going on. So,
No.
but that's okay. That can change in an instant.
Yeah. And
It's-
it's not.
We found a deer. Couple deer. There you go.
Oh, so, and we know where there's deer and there's coyotes. Do you hear any coyotes?
No, but they hunt them pretty hard here, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love
we're kind of in the Amish country. It's and those guys hunt them pretty hard. So do a lot of the non-Amish.
Oh, the deer?
The coyotes.
Oh, seriously? Oh.
Yeah, predator hunting. It's kind of a big thing here.
Oh, yeah. So you don't hear a lot of coyotes, because we love hearing them, because we always think Bigfoot isn't far behind if we hear the coyotes, you know?
Yeah, I think there's some validity to that argument. And,
Yeah.
but it is, in all honesty, it's awful early right now. Like, usually we wouldn't even be out this early, because I'm of the belief that, prime time's like 1:30 in the morning to like 4:30 in the morning. That's when things really get goofy and crazy.
So do you think?
It can happen anytime.
But I was going to say, because they're active in the day too. A lot of sightings have happened in daylight hours.
Yeah, but usually it's an individual.
Yes.
Wouldn't you say?
Yes.
And I think that's the day watcher. In my opinion.
The day watcher. What do you mean by that?
I think they post one up to watch while the other ones sleep during the day. And I think people have those daytime sightings of an individual. I think that's usually a day watcher, but that's conjecture.
Yeah. No, I do think a significant amount of them happen overnight too, but we've also had lots of eyewitnesses that talk about they've seen them in the day, so interesting.
See, that's something I should put some fear into you too, because like in the daytime you probably see one, at nighttime you probably have 4 of them around you. So that's very comforting. As long as you can't see, it's nice to have 4 of them around you.
Well, like when we had that episode when we were all up there and it was like 1:00 in the morning and we really felt like we were surrounded. Now, whether we were or not, I don't know. It was like I said, it was a new moon that night. So it was pitch black. Couldn't really see. But boy, they felt like they were all around us. But they say Bigfoot has that ability to make it seem like there are many, So I don't know, but yeah, I was kind of scared that night. Can I just say? Did I say that already?
Problem with admitting that. I know the feeling.
I was actually scared to death, to be quite honest and frank. But it's all good. We're still doing it.
Yeah. And with that, Stephanie, I think we were probably rolling up on a commercial break. I do believe.
Yes, that's what I was just gonna say.
Oh, I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No worries. So we will go to a commercial break, everyone. We will be back in just a few minutes. This is He Said, She Said, the Cryptid Show on the Para X Radio Network.
Explore the darkness.
Find out what goes bump in the night. Did you hear that?
Did you see that? What's that bright light in the sky? Oh, we so need to investigate.
Calling all witches and sensitives.
Explore the paranormal.
With host
Shauna
and Vicky from
Geeks Paranormal.
Wednesdays
at 9 Eastern,
8 Central.
Let's explore. On paraxradio.com.
I'm Jenna Valadez with the Basement Files. Tune in Friday nights, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Para X Radio Network.
Hey, this is Lee.
And this is Michelle.
And this is Dustin from the Dead Zone.
Your source for everything paranormal. Para X.
Heidi. Heidi. Oh, hey, Steph. Hey. What has your attention? Oh, I'm listening to Para X, the calling radio show. Have you ever heard of it? No, I haven't. What's it all about? Well, it's hosted by three guys, Jerry, Alan, and Will, and they talk about paranormal investigations, UFOs, cryptozoology, psychic phenomenon, all sorts of stuff. Oh, well, it's kind of like The Gathering, but on Wednesday, right? Yep, you got it. The Calling. The Calling. The Calling. The Calling. The Calling. The Calling radio show every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time only on Para X.
Everything just went quiet.
And we are live.
Welcome back to He Said, She Said, the Cryptid Show. This is Stephanie, and I am in my Keenan's daughter studio, and Tommy is actually in the field tonight, up in the woods, searching for Squatch. So how's it going up there, Tommy?
Jim, the crazy guy he is, just went solo into the woods to check out some eyeballs, some eye shine. And when he got about 3/4 of the way there, everything just went dead silent. So how's that for fun?
Well,
we were just talking about how things go quiet. Well, things just went quiet.
Yep.
So that's where we're at.
Okay. Awesome. So are you seeing any orbs or anything like that? I know that you talk about orbs a lot when you're out there looking for Squatch.
Not yet, but gosh, I got the feeling like anything could happen right now, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
We have witnessed orbs here before. This could be one of those nights.
Mm-hmm.
But it just went really, really quiet. I mean, it was like a light switch.
Yeah. Do you think it's because he walked into the woods, or are you thinking maybe there's something there?
The whole swamp went quiet, so I don't think it was because of him, but hard to say. Maybe maybe it was a shift in temperature or wind. I don't know, actually. But interesting stuff.
So when you talk about orbs, and I have seen your pictures, but there have been times when we've been out in the night too, and we see lights in the sky. Not really in the sky, but they're probably more like orbs. Is that what you're talking about? More like just lights when we think Bigfoot is near?
Well, we get some pretty profound ones here. We get ones that are intense, bright and intense, and in great numbers, and very vivid. I don't know how to explain it, really, but it definitely happens, and it happens here. So,
and are they ever in different colors, or are they always just white? Because I know some of our girls, I wasn't with them when they had this investigation, but they said that there were like different colored lights, like where they were in the woods. They were like blue or red or something. I can't remember exactly what the color was.
I have witnessed red, green, yellow, and white myself.
So you have. Okay. So different colored for you too. Okay. Yeah. So what do you think? So what do you think those are? What do you think they are?
Something very wooey.
Wooey.
Yeah.
I love that.
Not that I don't know. It's I almost think they have a consciousness.
Yeah.
I really do. I really do.
Yeah.
I have nothing to back it up other than a feeling, but that's what I feel. Yeah. I think there's a consciousness to them.
So Karen in our chat room is asking me to ask you where exactly you are out there in Pennsylvania. You're not going to get the location. But what town are you the closest to? How about that?
Spartansburg.
Okay. Spartansburg. Okay.
It's on the southern edge of Erie County, and it is where swamp meets hills. And it is Amish country, heavily farmed and heavily wooded, lots of game land. High moisture, lots of precipitation, great deer hunting, great squatch hunting.
Mm-hmm. So a plethora of animals and all of the things that we think Bigfoot likes, like water and woods and hills and all of those things, marshlands.
Swamps, berries, frogs, apple trees, deer. Yeah, all the good stuff.
Yeah, so perfect Bigfoot habitat.
Yes.
Has it gotten a little bit louder there now? I do hear frogs.
Yeah, Jim made it back to base here, and the frogs are kicking back up again. And they were deer. Okay, cool. We get to live another day. They were deer.
They were deer. Okay. Good intent, yeah. So Kat in the chat room is talking about the Skinwalker Ranch, which is a different subject, but they're saying that the owners used to see blue orbs. But, yeah. Isn't that interesting? But those seem to have good intent. No good intent, and it scared them. But you've seen blue orbs in association with Bigfoot, though, right? Didn't you say blue and red and green?
I've seen red, yellow, white, and green.
Oh, so no blue. Okay.
I have not seen blue.
Okay.
If I said that, I misspoke.
So blue orbs could be more different, more paranormal-ish. Or related to the Skinwalker, since it was at the Skinwalker Ranch, which is another fascinating cryptid thing we should talk about at some point.
The most laid-back color orb I've seen was when I saw the green ones. The green ones had to them. At least they seemed to have a gentleness to them. The red ones, not so much. But they didn't seem like... I didn't fear for my life, but the green was definitely a more casual kind of an encounter.
There's these personalities. So at work, we've all gone through, and I think a lot of people have done it. It's like personality workshops, and then they associate colors with personalities. So there's green, and there's yellow, and there's red, and there's blue. And the red ones are the more aggressive. It's the more like the CEOs, the ones that, they just want to know what you need. They just want to know what they need to know, and they're not very social. And, like the blues are the more analytical, And guess what color I am? Because greens are laid back, supportive, happy.
I can see it.
That's exactly what I am. I'm kind of red and green. Green and yellow. And the yellow one is the more like the surfer dude, right? Like the dude. But so my idea is that so if you said the red orbs were a little more crazy, maybe that kind of is the personality. They're just more. Top of the line, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it now. And the greens are more like, hey guy, how you doing?
Yeah, for sure.
I know.
Well, at this point in time, I am going to lay down a famous Tommy Cooper wood knock, if you can handle it.
Oh, good.
If everyone's already on the edge of their seat.
Let's go.
A little windy tonight. I'm not sure how well it's traveling, but we'll see what happens.
Tommy knocker. Trost is saying Tommy knocker.
Whooping and knocking.
I think you should do it in a series of 3. That's what I usually do when I do them. 1, 2, 3. How many did you do? Did you just do 2?
I did 2. I'll do a series of 3.
Okay. There we go. Come on, Sasquatch.
It's only a matter of time now.
It would just be excellent if one just came back right away, wouldn't it?
Sometimes they do.
That would be awesome.
Live.
We're live, and you know what? Maybe another call would be a good thing to do too. After the knocking, or don't you usually do it that way?
Let's let that sit for just a minute, and then we'll do that.
Okay. So
and I have to give a shout out to Big Tim and Titty Ute too. I almost forgot to do that. I stopped at my buddy's house today and he got me all psyched up for tonight, and I know he's listening live.
Yay! Big Tim, and did you say another name too?
The name of his town is Titty Ute.
Titty Ute. That's interesting. Well, hello, Big Tim from Titty Ute.
Yes.
Greetings from the He Said, She Said show.
Yeah. I posted a picture of his dog today.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I haven't really been on Facebook a whole lot today, so I haven't looked. But I will look here in just a minute. Anything happening over there? What about the other animals? Are they still be kind of loud or quiet? Or
going off.
You what?
The frogs are still going off pretty good. We're just we're doing a scan of the field again.
Okay.
Behind. You know how tempting it is for me to be like, "Oh my God!" and start yelling, but I can't.
Have a little drama to the show. I love it. I wish one would come right up behind you so I could say, "Tommy, what's that behind you?" Wouldn't that be awesome?
We'll throw some vocalization into this.
Okay.
Woo! Woo! That never works, but it's so fun to do.
Oh. Yeah, our team doesn't do those very much. Every once in a while we'll let one go. And if you don't tell everybody, because every once in a while I just feel like doing it, and so I'll let one go, and then some of them jump, because it's like, oh my God. I'm like, sorry, I forgot to say anything. But we don't do that. We don't do them every time. So,
in all honesty, the 1 out of 10 times or the 1 out of 8 times it does work, I am just like, I get like a head rush, man. I go nuts. It's just like the best feeling ever.
Oh, absolutely, because they're answering you. It's cool. It's absolutely cool. So, okay, so silence, no silence. Everything's being loud and noisy, but there's deer in the area. It's good weather. It's springtime, so usually Bigfoots are on the. They kind of migrate back and forth, so they say.
It's definitely dark here.
It's dark, yeah.
Very dark.
New moon. They say we went out and we did that overnight last fall at our research area, and it was a full moon. And originally we thought this is great because we'll be able to. It lights up the woods like crazy because it does, and it was a clear night. But then there were a few things that happened, but nothing really. And so I thought, well, Bigfoot probably doesn't come out very much when the full moon is out because you can see him, right?
I agree with you. Yep.
Yeah. So we'll never make that mistake again. We'll go when it's new moon or just, at the last crescent or the first crescent.
Hey, Tommy, didn't you guys have an encounter there with a shed getting smacked at that same location?
Yeah. We're in very close proximity to it. The handprint is indeed still in the side of the building, too. There was 3 of us back here, and that was also an orb night, too. We got the red orbs that night, and then we got the smash on the side of the shed, which is coincidentally about 10 foot away from where Jason found the trackway, even though there's about 3 years time difference in between. So definitely an area with a history.
Mm-hmm. So how close is that to like somebody's house? I mean, do people live nearby?
It's a big country square, and we're in a corner of it. There's two houses that aren't real far away. One's probably both of them are a quarter mile from where we stand.
Okay.
And we're in like the one corner. That's if you go that direction. If you go straight or if you go right, then you're talking couple miles, I'd say, of tornado blowdown and swamp. The only thing that really goes across it is a power line. And power lines are a good thing. We love power lines.
So for those of you who are listening to us, this is kind of what we do. So it's not, a lot of people, you know, they watch these shows and it's like paranormal investigating too, right? So they watch the shows and it's action from beginning to end. But the life of a researcher really is just kind of waiting, right? We just wait, we do a few things, hang, try to do a couple more things, hang some more.
Yep.
Maybe switch locations.
Yeah, I mean, and probably on a normal night, we'd probably be to a second location by now because, as I said before, I'm a very impatient guy, so we will hit some locations in a night. But that's okay. We don't always do that. Sometimes we'll hang in the same one for 2 or 3 hours. I mean, it's on a bad night, on the worst night of doing it, it's still nice to sit out in the woods.
Absolutely. There's no bad time in the woods. That's what I always say. It's always time well spent, whether we find Bigfoot or not, or whether we find any signs of him or not. It just doesn't matter.
Well, actually, I think I'm going to hand it over to Jim for a second, because when we were back here and did our walkthrough, he was on one of the groups that we rendezvoused with, and he's got a lot to say about some tree structure that they come onto at night. But I'm going to let Jim explain that. So here's Jim Sauerland.
Sounds good. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Steph. How are you?
I'm good. So tell us about this stick structure that you found.
Oh, well, actually, Nick is actually the one who actually noticed it. We were just kind of stumbling around in the dark with him. It was a group of 3 of us. We had a couple different groups. One went one way, we went the other way, and it was actually fantastic because I always try to look for a reason why it's there. You try to discount, natural blowdown, which was, that was kind of cool because we found 3 different structures that you could not. It was trees bent in amongst each other which just wasn't natural. So that was actually very exciting for me because they were actually the first really good stick structures I've ever encountered.
That's fun when you find that stuff, isn't it?
It sure is. I mean, we ran into nothing that night. That was darn exciting. So yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's cool. So were they all blown? Was it extra structure or was it arches? Were there any arches around there too?
We found a couple of arches. That they were not quite as interesting because, like I said, the structures we found very intricate. Trees amongst each other, a couple trees stuck on top. Clearly the bottom was not, was not there.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did find a couple of arches, but at the same time, hard to tell, if that was something that, was not.
Oh yeah, for sure. What we've been finding up here is crazy arches around stick structures lately, this past few months. So I don't know what all that means for sure, but it's very interesting, I think. It's really
cool,
interesting. Yeah. So anything happening out there?
Pretty quiet right now. Pretty quiet. Other than the frogs.
Yeah. Well, they're just a part of the show. We love it.
I've been waiting for this sound. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. It's our audience. It's our natural audience. Paying attention.
Better frogs than crickets.
But you know what? They go quiet, then we'll start getting interested.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So how long have you been searching for Bigfoot, Jim?
Probably about 8 years now. It started just as, just fun stuff to do. Really didn't think that in this day and age there could be such a thing. And the more you get out there, the more you realize there's something to it.
Oh,
and I've had some encounters that I have no other explanation. And yeah, it's once you get out there and get in the woods at night, all those people that think, oh, baloney,
Yeah. I always say I challenge you to come out there with us.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite phone calls from Jim was him. I didn't go with him the night before, and he said, "Dude, blah 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 blah." He said, "I'm never going in the woods alone at night again, and I'm getting a bigger gun."
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
that
should
changed.
Never go alone. See, you should never go alone. Listen to me. This is how it works.
Yeah, things got really real for me that night. So I grew up a little bit.
Yeah. So do you think, let me ask you this, do you think Bigfoot is an interdimensional creature, or do you think he's a physical animal? Or a creature like us, for example?
It's a tough one, because honestly, I don't know. Originally I believed that they were, totally, just a physical creature, probably just an animal. I think there's a whole lot more to it now, though. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I have no clue.
Yeah.
I honestly, I know they're out there.
Yeah.
But at the same time, what they are, that's absolute mystery.
Yeah. Well,
but there's no reason why they couldn't be part of both. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's true. But here's what I always say is because their tracks just suddenly disappear, right? Like we found a really good trail of tracks in the snow here last year or the year before. I don't remember when, a couple of years ago, maybe up in the Chippewa Forest, and they just ended. And we looked, we searched those woods for maybe a pickup area where they could have picked up. No, it was like, where'd he go? It was the craziest thing. And we find this stuff all the time. Or we find a couple of prints, and that's it. Okay, well, what's the deal here,
Yeah.
So, very interesting. I love it.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for being a part of the show, and it was really nice meeting you, and wow.
I am stoked. This was a last-minute thing for me, and like I said, always exciting to get out here and talk, so, yeah.
Yeah, fun stuff. Yeah.
Absolutely
I think you should
excited to finally get to speak with you. So,
thank you.
Really am.
I think you should do another Bigfoot call because you do such a good job.
Good idea, Steph. I like it.
All right.
Do it. Yeah, let's do it. Come on.
Let's do it. Would you hear the energy in that? Beautiful.
No, it's awesome. It's so awesome. Like I said, hands down winner at Bigfoot Days. If you guys were here, for sure. Absolutely.
That's my wingman.
Yeah.
That's my wingman.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Cool beans. Well, this has been
I heard some dogs start barking, so that's a positive.
They probably wonder what the heck is going on,
Yep.
Oh.
Squatch is moving in on us as we speak. That's probably what's going on.
Because he's wondering what's going on. You guys are having so much fun and,
Who's torturing the animals? Someone's torturing animals in this forest, he probably thinks.
Yeah, maybe. He's here to protect us. Karen says that made her dogs bark when they heard it on the radio.
Good job, Jim.
Yeah. So, yeah, oh my gosh. Well, I really wish one would turn up behind you, Tommy. I keep looking in the background and I'm not seeing anything.
Behind me, in front of me. Not behind.
Well, somewhere, Yeah. But yeah, like I said, people like this is what research is all about. It's, it takes a lot of time. We hang in the woods for hours, look at things, and sometimes nothing happens, sometimes everything happens. And it's kind of the same way with paranormal investigation. Same. Except this, although we do bring a voice recorder. Do you have a voice recorder with you tonight, Tommy?
I almost did, but I was running short on time. I didn't throw an SD card in it. So no, that's the honest answer. One of my favorite things to happen in this scenario is the landowner catches you.
Oh, are you on somebody's land without permission, Tommy? We don't do that.
No, we're okay here.
Okay. All right, that's good. Yeah, because can you imagine, what are you people doing here, and you guys get off here right now, and they show up with a gun like you guys, because you guys all have guns out there.
Okay, around.
Oh, my goodness. Sawed-off shotgun comes running at you. You know, you got to leave.
But it's funny when people say, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just looking for Bigfoot.
Yeah. And
okay.
Then they look,
now, here I was worried you guys might be on drugs, and turns out all you're doing is looking for Bigfoot. Okay, that's cool.
Well, either that or they look at you like you have two heads because they don't believe in Bigfoot, right? One or the other. But for those people who want to search for Bigfoot, if you're going on private land, my suggestion is you get permission first. You know.
Yeah, actually, we adhere to that very closely, and we have no problems here. We do have permission to be here.
Okay. All right. I figured, but I just thought I'd throw that in there because some people think that they can just go on anywhere they want, and that's the same with paranormal investigators too. And you should always ask for permission. If they say no, leave it alone. You know, you just don't go there then.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I've been told no quite a few times.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to know what's in their woods.
No. It's like some people don't want to know what's in their house or whatever they're doing, you know.
That's how I feel. That's how I feel when Jason Trost is around. Sometimes I just don't want to know what's in my house. But.
Oh, no, come on. Listen, you're being mean to our producer again. What the heck?
It works for me. I'm allowed.
You guys. Oh, my gosh. Well, we have a couple of minutes.
We'll just have to put some bleeps in there.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple of minutes left, Tommy. Is there anything else that you want to do before we have to end the show?
I think we've got it covered. I'm just enjoying the wonderful night and the awesome company and talking to all our friends around the globe and our soldiers that are listening and all that good stuff. And what a great night. I'm glad spring's here. I'm just so jazzed. It's going to be a wonderful year.
Yeah, well, yes, for sure. Karen's like, right, I'm not so sure I want to see Bigfoot in my backyard. Well, you know what, Karen? We did find that stuff really close to your place the last time I was up there a few weeks ago. So he just might be in your backyard. I can't wait to come up again after all this. We can go somewhere. So,
now, did you guys tell Karen what all you guys left out there for food for him?
What we left?
Because you said you guys left bait there to bring them in closer to her house, didn't you say?
No. Oh, yeah, I did, actually. Right. Okay, I'm so thick sometimes. Sure, yeah. No, actually, we did find some stuff that was really close to Karen's house. And I know when we found it, she was like, because we had walked over there and we walked through this old logging road. And she's like, well, this is really exciting, but I'm not so sure I like this because this is really my backyard. And I'm like, I know, because she has like 40 acres up there. So, yeah, we did. We put some stuff up there, Karen. I know there are so many stories up there.
Yeah, and welcome to my world, too, because our #1 research area is straight across the road from my house.
I know. You told me that. That would be so fun.
Home. They have definitely followed me home.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's craziness. Well, you know what? We have to go. This hour went by really fast, and it was really fun to have you in the field. And now people at home can kind of get what it's like to be out there. So this has been fabulous. So you guys be careful out there, and I hope you find something, and you'll have to report in next week.
Sure will.
But thanks to Jim for accompanying you out there, and good to meet him. And thanks, Tommy, for being out in the woods. And we will see everyone back here next Sunday at same time, same bat channel.